What does it mean to raise boys with intention, especially in a world where masculinity is often shaped by power, silence, and shame? My next guest is a queer mom who edited and contributed to a powerful new collection of essays called Boyhood Reimagined. It's a bold, tender, and deeply personal look at the feminist parenting and what it takes to raise emotionally healthy sons. Gail Marlene Schwartz, welcome to New Day.
Thanks, Kelly. It's great to be here.
Great to have you. So your book opens up first about a conversation about how we parent boys in a world where men, especially white men, hold disproportionate power. What do you mean by this?
Well, if we think about who is making the decisions that affect the broadest amount of people, the demographic is white males. And then if you think about, well, what's the thing that influences how we turn out as adults? And the social experience that's the most primary is the family, right? So if you think, okay, so the people who are influencing those people making those decisions are us. So that's powerful. That's a lot of responsibility.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you write too that if we don't nurture our boys' masculinity, others are going to do it for us and maybe not necessarily the way that we choose. So tell me more about that.
Yeah, there's been a really amazing shift with women's issues and feminism, and women have really come into their own. And I think there's been a vacuum. I think boys are really struggling. Boys are struggling in school. Boys are struggling in their relationships. Boys are struggling to find a place. What does it mean to have a place in society as a masculine man? And it's not clear. And so a lot of boys are turning to right-wing ideology, to the very online, to find themselves, because they're just not finding the place in the society where they knew what they had to do in previous days. And the moms in this book are literally trying to reimagine what does it mean to be a male in this society, and what is that place, and how do we help our boys find that place? And it's not clear, but one thing is clear. We can't have our boys finding our place if we're telling them consistently not to be human beings, not to be themselves, not to have
feel
feelings,
emotions.
not to be vulnerable, not to be passionate, or any of those things that are typically attributed to feminine qualities.
Yeah, that makes sense. And
Yeah.
how have you seen shame then show up in parenting boys?
Well, it's really funny because I see shame coming from both the left and the right. And it comes in different ways, but it's totally deadly. I mean, I'm sure every person who's grown up in a family knows what it is to be shamed. My parents used to say, "You should be ashamed of yourself." Well, that's caused a lot of damage. It did not make me a more moral person. It made me an angry person. When we tell boys, there are so many great examples in the book. One of our moms catches her boy, her 10-year-old, finding porn online. And so she and her wife had this long conversation. We are not going to shame him for this. We are going to have a conversation. We are going to talk about body positivity. We're going to talk about the difference between porn and sex and consent and being paid to do, and they had it was messy. It's messy. These conversations are messy. But shame is very clean, but it causes so much harm. So these moms are trying to do something else.
Yes, and you're careful not to point out that there's one right way to raise sons. So how do you kind of teeter that line while writing these books and with the essays?
Yeah, people are so different. People have so many different ways of being in the world, and it's not like we have this recipe and, we're going to make these great boys and put this together and poof, if you do X, Y, and Z. We really wanted these stories to be experience, strength, and hope to inspire other families to do the same. I mean, what these moms are we want to be good moms, we want to raise good men, and we want those men to not harm people. That's what we share in common. But there's women of different backgrounds. We have women of different generations. We have women who have twins, women who have adopted kids, a trans mom, women of color. I mean, just lots and lots of different classes. And those experiences reflect different realities, which we hope will speak to and resonate for different people who are reading the book.
Yeah, and you've also said we need a men's movement led by men that promotes healthy masculinity. What can you tell us?
Yeah, I think that the jury is out. I think we're trying to reinvent that as a culture. Sam Waterstone, who wrote our foreword, described himself as queer spawn, which I loved. He's the son of Robin Lowy, another one of our essayists, and he wrote the foreword, and he talked about having coaches and fathers of friends and men in his life who were great models, while also having these badass feminist moms that he played basketball with and did all kinds of family stuff with, and he had the best of both worlds. So we need men like Sam and the men that mentored him to help figure out what this healthy masculinity really looks like.
Thank you so much for being here, Gail.
You're welcome.
And if you'd like to hear more from Gail, she has a book event tonight, August 28th at Elliott Bay Book Company. Gail and a number of contributors to the book will discuss Boyhood Reimagined and its connections to Seattle's queer communities.